Hey, it's Pryl, and welcome back to my channel where we explore how I stopped being consumed by work and caping and putting everybody else's needs before mine and learn to embrace an uncomplicated life full of freedom and joy. All right, are you all ready to have a real conversation about perfectionism? And is it the biggest thing that's keeping Black women from pursuing their dreams? Perfectionism is something that I know all too well because I struggled with it so bad for over 40 years, and I still occasionally do from time to time, including recently, which is what prompted me to make this video. I know that I shared with you all in a previous video that I experienced an identity crisis when I left corporate. But what I didn't tell you is how I was feeling, how every day I woke up with a knot in the pit of my stomach. I felt guilty. I felt like I was constantly doing something wrong. I was ashamed. I isolated myself because I didn't want to hear the reactions of other people. And I felt lost and I felt weak. And you know what? I used to beat myself up and be hypercritical and really get frustrated because I didn't understand what was what's wrong with me that, I'm away from corporate, but yet I still care so much that why can't I shut this off and emotionally disengage and detach? And on my path to self-discovery, my therapist told me, you're a perfectionist. I said, oh, excuse me? It really struck a nerve because I know there's no such thing as perfect. Duh. But here's the deal. Although we may not view it as perfect in the literal sense of the word, we do have our own euphemisms. It needs to be done right. It needs to be done by my standards. It needs to be done with the mind of excellence. I mean, we can go on and on, but at the end of the day, whatever we want to call it, all roads lead back to the pursuit of perfection. And in order to really get to the heart of it, we have to talk about conditioning. Conditioning is a variety of learned behaviors that we picked up in childhood and carry them throughout our lives into adulthood. And it's also heavily influencing and shaping our perspectives, our motivations, and our behaviors today. For example, at a very early age, we learned how to please our parents or our parental figures. So whether it was to receive their love, attention, affection, or to avoid their wrath and disappointment. Either way, at minimum, we understood what made our parents happy and please them and what would upset them. Now, I am of the belief that people pleasers or parent pleasers first, but that's another video for another day. When we got to elementary school, we learned that the highest marks, the perfect score, was an A+. And for many of us, we were motivated by the fear of what would happen if we brought home a bad report card to our house. Oh, and we also learned how to behave in the classroom, how to do as everybody else does, how to adapt yourself to fit in with the popular kids, or if you were like me, off in the cut someplace, trying to blend in and go unnoticed. And I don't know if any of you all were raised like I was, going to church 10 days a week. That's not funny. But in church, there is a whole entire book that tells us what makes us perfect in His sight. And under the threat of being a sinner who spends eternity in hell and damnation, we also learned not to question authority and that it's better to give instead of receive. Now, by the time we get to high school, we still have the grades, but they're also telling us that we have to get into a good school or at minimum attend college, period. And that's when we're expected to take AP classes, to play a sport and or be in a club, to volunteer, or if you were like me, be somebody's mama while in high school. But yet, we managed to get it done. All these things at once. Why? Because we knew that we had to go to college. Okay, so now we're in college and we are still expected to get those high grades again, because we gotta get us a good job now. And for many of us, that involved doing an internship while working a job while tutoring or doing work study. But you know what? It's okay, because at this point, we've been doing this for years. It's literally part of our daily routine. All right, so now we have us a good job, right? Okay, and that's going to be one that has great pay, excellent growth potential, or fantastic benefits. Or, if you're lucky, D, all of the above. We no longer have grades as our benchmark of perfection because it's been replaced with the infamous annual review. And in order to move up in the company and make more money, or for some of us, even keep our jobs, we have to have a good review, because there is so much writing on those annual reviews. So that means that we work longer and harder if we have to. We take on additional work. We go back to school and get another 1 or 2 degrees. And that is not even counting the fluency that is required to code switch each and every day. But we have to do all this, right? Because our success in life is contingent on how much money we make, our accolades, and our titles. And some of us have to add being a mother, a wife or partner, or a caretaker to a family member or aging parents to the mix as well. Meaning that throughout our lives, we've learned to please people, mask and become a chameleon, play small to blend in and feel guilty about putting ourselves first, to work harder and harder while ignoring those feelings of burnout and stress and overwhelm. And we've also learned that money is attached to our success in life. So now hopefully you have a better understanding of how you have been conditioned throughout your entire life to pursue perfection. And also why thinking about moving to a new country, or leaving that toxic job, or even beginning to put yourself first may feel uncomfortable, it may feel foreign, and it maybe even feels wrong. So please give yourself grace and take steps, no matter how small, towards letting go of those unreasonably high standards and begin loving on yourself. And know that you, and only you, are the one who decides what success looks like in your life. I ask that you like this video and please send it to another Black woman who needs to hear this. We really got to get this message out. And if you enjoy this kind of content, then go ahead and touch and agree with your neighbor by hitting that subscribe button. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.